I'm Isaac, and every day on this channel, we go through everything Trump talked about on True Social over the last 24 hours. Guys, our massive trade deal with Japan has just launched. This is announced by the White House, and they're quoting Trump. So let's take a look at this deal and what Trump said about it. Trump says, our massive trade deal with Japan has just launched. Japan is now officially and financially moving forward with the first set of investments under its $550 billion commitment to invest in the United States of America. Part of our historic trade deal to revitalize the American industrial base, create hundreds of thousands of great American jobs, and strengthen our national and economic security like never before. Today, I am pleased to announce 3 tremendous projects in the strategic areas of oil and gas in the great state of Texas, power generation in the great state of Ohio, and critical minerals in the great state of Georgia. The scale of these projects are so large and could not be done without one very special word: tariffs. The gas power plant in Ohio, a state I won 3 times, will be the largest in history. The LNG facility in the Gulf of America will drive exports and further our country's energy dominance. And our critical minerals facility will end our foolish dependence on foreign sources. America is building again, America is producing again, and America is winning again. This is a very exciting and historic time for the United States of America and Japan. Congratulations to all, and thank you for your attention to this matter. President Donald J. Trump. And so Trump is making big moves with trade. Also today, he quotes Stephen Moore. He says the great economist Stephen Moore said, "In the past century, the 3 greatest presidents were Calvin Coolidge, Ronald Reagan, and Donald J. Trump." And the White House says that tax refunds this year are substantially greater, and they quote President Trump. And so what did Trump say? Well, he says tax refunds this year, because of the great big beautiful bill, are substantially greater than ever before. In some cases, estimates are that over 20% will be returned to the taxpayer. So when you get your tax refund, think about what a wonderful president you have. No tax on tips, no tax on Social Security for all our great seniors, no tax on overtime, interest deductions on car loans, and much more. And he says, don't spend all this money in one place, President DJT. And Trump updates us on Epstein. This is from ABC News. It says a former police chief who investigated Jeffrey Epstein in the mid-2000s told the FBI he had received a call from Donald Trump at the time to say, "Thank goodness you're stopping him. Everybody has known he's been doing this," according to an FBI account. And this was quoted by Mark R. Levin, who said, "Now, I finally stopped the bullcrap trying to link POTUS to Epstein. The woke Reich grifters, congressional Democrat hacks, and the media thugs continue to libel President of the United States from Russia to Epstein. We have a country to save." And we heard yesterday there is a massive sewage spill in the Potomac River. Trump says Maryland, Virginia, and Washington, D.C., who are responsible for this spill, must get to work immediately. If they can't do the job, they have to call me and ask politely to get it fixed. The federal government is not at all involved with what has taken place, but we can fix it. But remember, even in that case, with the Democrat shutdown, we'll have to bring in true patriots to do the work because many are not working right now. These Democrat-caused disasters, both the river and the shutdown, will only get worse. The 2 governors and the mayor of DC must act immediately. This is a radical left-caused environmental hazard. With all their talk about carbon footprints and everything else, they're allowing hundreds of tons of sewage to pour into the mighty Potomac, making it much less mighty. Act fast. I am waiting your call. Thank you for your attention to this matter, President Donald J. Trump. And the White House emphasizes the part of that quote that says, these Democrat-caused disasters, both river and shutdown, will only get worse. The 2 governors and the mayor of D.C. must act immediately. And Trump reposted that. And let's look at what Donald Trump said about Jesse Jackson, a renowned civil rights leader who died today. Trump says, "I knew him well, long before becoming president. He was a good man with lots of personality, grit, and street smarts. He was very gregarious, someone who truly loved people, despite the fact that I'm falsely and consistently called a racist by the scoundrels and lunatics on the radical left. It was always my pleasure to help Jesse along the way. I provided office space for him and his Rainbow Coalition for years in the Trump building at 40 Wall Street. I responded to his request for helping in getting criminal justice reform passed and signed, when no other president would even try. I single-handedly pushed and passed long-term funding for historically black colleges and universities, which Jesse loved, but also which other presidents would not do. I responded to Jesse's support for opportunity zones, the single most successful economic economic development package yet approved for black businesses, men and women, and much more. Jesse was a force of nature like few others before him. He had much to do with the election, without acknowledgement or credit, of Barack Hussein Obama, a man who Jesse could not stand. He loved his family greatly, and to them I send my deepest sympathies and condolences. Jesse will be missed. President Donald J. Trump. And Trump shared a few pictures of him with Jesse Jackson. Let's take a look and have some time to remember him. That's Trump with Jesse Jackson right here. You can see this is Trump, Jesse Jackson, and a group of other men. This looks like an even older picture. It's Trump and Jesse Jackson once again. And there's that same lineup of men all sitting together. And here's a black and white group photo of them. And moving on from that, let's talk about immigration. We've seen the SAVE Act become controversial because it's requiring voter ID. Well, today Trump said, who wouldn't want proof of citizenship? Who wouldn't want voter ID? Well, Chuck Schumer is one of those people who wanted voter ID. This is a clip from Chuck Schumer, who says we need more ID laws. And let's look at this one.
Let's admit the truth. Everywhere people go, they're asked for a social security card. In fact, one way to prove you're a bona fide person who can have a job is to ask for a driver's license and a social security card. This is an anti-fraud amendment. Over where we go, people say, well, why can't you stop illegal immigrants or others from coming here? And the number one answer we give our constituents is when they come here, they can get jobs, get benefits against the law because of fraud.
What they are proposing in this so-called SAVE Act is like Jim Crow 2.0.
And the White House says, so why is he now fighting the same concept to secure our elections? What changed, Senator Schumer? And Trump reposted that. And the White House says there's no downside to a secure border. And they shared this from Tom Homan. So let's take a look.
It wasn't an accident. It wasn't. Why? I don't really know. The only thing I can guess is they saw a future political benefit from letting millions of people in the United States, whether they thought they're future Democratic voters. I asked every Democrat I ever talked to, what's the downside in a secure border? What's the downside unless illegal drugs killing Americans? What's the downside unless sex trafficking in women and children? What's the downside unless terrorists come across the country? What's the downside? They can't give you a downside.
So there you have it. That's everything Trump said over the last 24 hours. We got to see 3 investments from Japan as the Japan trade deal is now materializing. We saw Donald Trump's response to the sewage spill on the Potomac. And we saw that Jesse Jackson sadly passed away today and Donald Trump offered his condolences. So that's everything I have for you guys. As always, if you want to support the channel, consider subscribing. We're trying to get to 1,000 subscribers. We're at about 600, so thank you guys so much for all the support, and I will see you guys tomorrow.
Now I have to clean up your mess.